Hi, and welcome to Balls Like Gaming. We are back once again. I am Lee, still, and this is. I'll go on then.
Yaff. Still.
Still,
Stephen.
still, Yaff, still, Stephen. Yeah,
Still me.
guys, we're back again for episode maybe seven.
Ish. In and around there, yeah.
7 or 8, but if it actually doesn't feel like we've been doing it long enough to have that many episodes, but we're still going. We're still going strong. Uh, Thank you to everyone that watched last episode. It's not last week, but last episode with our special guest Gavin for the PlayStation conference. That was good
Just
fun.
have to apologise about Gavin. Just, he's a bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, so he is a Sony fanboy, but even the Sony fanboy wasn't overly impressed. But we talked enough about that. But yeah, so thank you to everyone that watched and such. This will be the last podcast we do in this format, where he is split down the middle in the screen. From thankfully, everything lockdown wise seems to be slacking off, and we will actually be able to sit 1 meter apart, which is basically beside each other. So we'll be doing it in person from the next podcast in 2 weeks' time. So that'll be something we will have to get adjusted to actually talking to each other rather than talking to a screen. But we'll get there. Apart from that, Yaf, what have you been up to? Frank's back.
Frank's back. Not much, mate. Just playing Tarkov. Playing something different than WoW for a change. Bit bored of WoW. Same thing. Tarkov's good.
Yeah.
It keeps me occupied. Stressful game, though.
Yeah,
I think someone's out to get you all the time, which pretty much they are. Like, if it's not people camping with sniper rifles, it's bots that just friggin' one pump you with shotguns halfway across the map with slug rounds. It's a good fun game, though.
Yeah, Tarkov is one of those games that I've watching for a good long time, but I actually don't have it. It is going to be something that I probably will purchase in the not too distant future. But yeah, as you say,
It's best to get it with the if there's any sales on, like, because it's a bit expensive to buy full tilt. But like, I mean, when there's they do offers on all the time, so definitely get that up. Like,
yeah,
anyone that's listening as well, it's a good game.
Yeah, it like I haven't played it and I enjoy watching it. It's one of those games, very intense game. Sort of, every move you seem to make it's a life or death decision. You lose your gear. It's you literally, it's one of those
like,
no respawns. It is a very intense game. So it's definitely for the serious competitive players. It is definitely something I'm interested in and will probably purchase. Yeah, as Yav says, kind of WoW has slacked off a bit. Even I've stopped playing as well. I need to get back onto it though because I grinded the whole way up to 120 and then I stopped playing it. But we've kind of got to that period now where you've stopped playing WoW and went on to Tarkov. I have went back on the Xbox. I've been playing the Hunt Showdown. The last wee while, I've actually been loving that. That was one of those games. I felt with the Hunt, it kind of slipped through the gaps a wee bit. It was one of those games that I remember whenever they showed the video of it and it was on PC only, and I was like, holy crap, that game looks amazing. Crytek make very visually good looking games. And I remember, watching videos and stuff of it and thinking, that game looks sick. That looks sick. And you got it, like, pretty much at the start.
It was make or break for Crytek at that point because they were filing for bankruptcy or something in the administration. So that was like their final push before actually just probably folding as a studio or anything. It was very good. It's just that I think it came out just on PC on its own in beta, I think, or early access, and then it kind of didn't come out fast enough, like all early access beta games, and then it just kind of fell through the cracks and came out. And then it came out, got popular, and then they just didn't seem to release enough stuff for it. But they seem to be pumping out a lot of content now. Seems to be getting a bit of traction, especially with that's probably why they introduced the consoles, just to get that extra
income, sort of getting the player bases in. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I think it's great. It's really, really good fun. Playing a lot of it. It's kind of one of those games as well. It's kind of like high intense, high action because again, you lose your character, you lose your gear. Been really enjoying it. It's right up my street. And I'm looking forward to more content coming from it. New releases wise, what we've we haven't went back to any of the other games that that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Crucible, though, there was news on the Crucible. We can touch on. They've completely stripped it down, from what I remember.
Yeah. So it's on the back foot already. So I think they're stripping down game modes that were on it, and it's just going back to basics. So pretty much, it was only out, and it's just didn't take off at all. So they're going back to work on it.
I think it was a lot to do with it, as you said, the balance. Like we had a lot of things about the balancing of the heroes in it, but also the heroes' special abilities didn't make, especially the sniper girl that we've pointed out before, it didn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, they're stripped it down to one game mode, and basically it's basically being workshopped again, which is never a good sign for a game when it's only come out.
No.
You'd have really thought that this would have been ironed out pre-launch. You'd have had a lot of this done, so not looking good for that, especially since it's Amazon's first foray into the market, in terms of their own type of studio game. So not looking great, but we'll keep an eye on it and see how it does over the next wee while. What I've been playing though the last few days, obviously the big release and probably the biggest release of the year. It probably will be one of the biggest releases of the year. Obviously, we still have stuff at the end of the year with a new generation. Cyberpunk and stuff, but this would be one of the big ones. Last of Us Part 2. I've been playing that a lot. Really loving it. I was a big fan of the first series. We've sort of touched on the first series in a couple of podcasts, but the Naughty Dog make a great game. They make a good AAA title. That there's no doubt about that. I don't really want it because it's only out. I don't really want to go into it too much. But for those who own a PlayStation or have access to a PlayStation, I recommend you pick that game up. It is worthwhile playing. It's probably it'll be one of the best games of this generation. It probably is one of the best game in terms of gameplay, storytelling. The visuals of it are phenomenal. It really pushes the PlayStation to the extreme. My PlayStation near screams when it's playing it, but
there were some reports of it, actually causing that much must be energy intake or fluctuations or something out there. It actually tripped somebody's switch box in the house. They tripped the switch and all the lights and all the electric turned off.
Yeah.
People's been thinking, saying it's like airplane jets taking off. It just pushes it to the absolute max.
Yeah, it's straining. It strains the console's hardware big time.
Part of me thinks it should have just held it off until PlayStation 5. See if it just came out at the start of the year and goes, we're holding on until the end of the year. I mean, you'd be a lot of mad people, but I mean,
yeah. Well,
it's a good game.
They pushed it long enough that if you'd have went, right, what we're actually going to do is we're going to release it with the PlayStation 5 because the performance will be better. I think most normal people like myself, I'd have understood. It had annoyed me because I kept my PlayStation 4 for that game. That is the game that I wanted to play. So it would have annoyed me, but I would have understood, especially from a games perspective. If you want to make something that's groundbreaking and make it look great and make it play good, fair enough. It's the reason that Cyberpunk has been delayed again. They want to release something that is fucking amazing, and that makes sense to me. I am angry, obviously, because it's been delayed 3 times or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna probably lift this game and go, holy fucking shit! This is probably one of the best games I've ever played. It could quite easily be that type of game. So it makes sense to delay it, but I think this is the last hurrah, because if you remember,
the last biggest game you're going to get on the PlayStation 4. There's nothing else that's going to be comparison to it.
It was the same though. The last edition of The Last of Us came out at the end of the PlayStation 3, right at the crossover. Okay. So it's kind of like the last hurrah of the console, and it kind of fits, especially considering the style of the story and the style of the game. It's it's very doom and gloom. It's like the end type thing. So they might have just wanted to keep that tradition going. But yeah, as I said, very, very good game. Haven't finished it yet. But the one thing about it compared to the first, it's a bit of a slow starter. The prologue goes on quite a wee bit in the second one. And you're kind of going, what the fuck is going on? And then it all kicks off, and it doesn't stop from there. It goes from 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds after that. After you get that initial sort of built of they build the story. It's kind of like a movie. The way they build the story, you go into a movie and it slowly builds, and then something big happens, and then it just goes balls lit, basically. Pardon the pun.
Yeah,
Like
was
that
a
one.
game.
Um, so yeah, so very good game. It's one to definitely pick up if you have a PlayStation.
Well, put it into perspective, right? And we all know that I'm very fussy over games. I've actually, at the minute, I was going to delay it until after the podcast, which I still am. I actually hope my PlayStation out. It probably needs about a year of updates, but yeah, we're going to play the first one because I've never played the first one before. I bought the remaster edition for £8. Thank you, Sony.
Very good deal.
Very good deal. Apparently, I said to Lee there, should I jump on this? And he's like, you'd be stupid not to. So,
yep.
Got that. Gonna download that. Maybe play it tonight if it downloads in time. Sony servers are shit, so we'll see what it's like. But we'll definitely get that, and then obviously I'll maybe do a wee quick review. I'll probably not have it completed by the next time we have this podcast.
You can give us your initial thoughts on what you think of it.
And yeah,
I think for me, in terms of console games, it was one of the, if not the best console game of the last gen. 100%. I was hooked. I was like, this game is fucking groundbreaking. It's really good. It's very Sony with the whole companion sort of thing.
But it's like the pinnacle of that, it's obviously
it was kind of the thing that's kind of set that all off. Really, it was the game that set that all off. And to be fair, what I liked, the second one completely stepped away from it. You don't really have like a companion. You have other characters that come and join you, but then they go away and stuff. It's not you're on your own. The second one, so it breaks that whole mold, which I thought was a very good choice from Naughty Dog. That it didn't make basically the same game again. It stepped away.
No one wants the same game with a slightly altered storyline because obviously it's in the same sort of.
Yeah, it's the same characters. It's basically it's the follow on. It's the story of Joel and Ellie. So you follow on, you just play as Ellie this one rather than Joel. But yeah, you get to play different sort of scenes, and it takes you in flashbacks in the second one as well to like the original game where you're a companion, but this time you're playing as Ellie rather than Joel. It's an interesting perspective. Cool. Yeah, it's very, very good. I think what they've done is they've made a fucking very good game, and I read earlier as the fastest selling PlayStation game of all time or something. Or the fastest selling PlayStation game or something. So they've done really well with it. So congratulations, Naughty Dog. It took them a while, but they got there.
Wouldn't be hard to have the fastest selling PlayStation 4 game of all time because most of them haven't been, great. Well, you've had a couple of great ones, but not like.
Well, yeah, it's kind of
overhyped this one for years, so
It took a long time to come to us, because at the end of the day, they showed us it probably about 4 or 5 years ago. We've been waiting for it since. You knew after the first one there was going to be a second one, so you've been waiting since then. I don't even know when the first one came out. 2013.
If you say no, it was
earlier than that. Yeah,
I think
so has this been there like 10 years in the making?
Yeah, because the PlayStation Xbox One and all came out 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I got FIFA 12 or 13.
Yes, 12.
I can't remember what one was, but I got it with the console. So yeah, fuck me. That's yeah. So and you knew the second one was coming, and I think they actually announced it 4 or 5 years ago. So you knew it was coming. Did the typical game that we're working on, and
Last of Us. Here's a title screen. You're not going to see it for like 6 years.
Yeah. So yeah, in comparison to the fastest selling Sony games, as you said, there isn't many. The big competition in that would be the likes of God of War.
But even that was never hyped up as much.
Oh, I loved God of War. I thought it was phenomenal. That was a really good game too. That would be one I would advise you to pick up as well. It's really fucking good. But it's just those couple of studios that Sony have. I think they can really they can throw a spanner in the works, releasing a fucking class game. But it still isn't going to force me to buy a PlayStation 5. Not yet, anyway. So that's what I've been playing.
Don't have the room for it.
Yeah, to fucking. I fucking like. You wouldn't fit it in this room. It's fucking humongous. The picture of the fucking PlayStation 5, just to touch on that. The guy in the office.
Or in the
it's like
plant.
From his waist from to there. It's like, Jesus Christ, that thing's a beast.
And he didn't look like a small guy either.
Well,
Just an average built guy.
yeah,
So well, obviously you can't really tell by pictures, but there's
yeah,
two of them standing there, and they didn't look like they were small people. So and this thing was the size of this guy's torso, like a
yeah.
PC tower, not far off it. Like,
It's a big thing,
so
like.
it's a big boy. Like,
But yeah, so we'll see what I think. I'll give a review of The Last of Us once it completed as well, and we'll get Yaf's feedback on what he think of the first one. But yeah, the main topic of this podcast is the big news in the gaming world this week. Sad news. For
especially for Lee.
Well, especially for me, and for you. Yeah, I know. Yaf doesn't stream. I always wind Yaf up about not streaming all the time, but yeah, if you're in the gaming world, you will know that Mixer have announced that that is it. Game over. Pardon the pun again. Finito. So late on, what day was it? Wednesday, Tuesday.
It was one of the days because you're only back to work there, so it was one of the days that was literally you were in and we're talking away, and then next minute I linked you something like that night, and you're like, because you were streaming.
I was
the
streaming.
First day you got Last of Us, wasn't it? Or second day? No,
it wasn't the first day. I was in the game. I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, and you were just like, you had to pause. Like, I mean,
yeah.
He's in depth. He's proper into this game. Like, and I just come with this link, and I just go Lee. And he's like, what? This is like, and I just linked it in chat. It wasn't on Discord with him, and literally put it in the chat. And then he paused it. He's like, what are you linking me? And then it was like, just got it.
Yeah, you had no pre-warning. So basically, the statement read pretty much that they decided that they could do. It was the end of the road for Mixer. That they couldn't do much more with the platform, and that Microsoft themselves have obviously made the decision to step away. So they've handed it over, not Mixer itself, but basically in terms of like, I'm assuming like servers and the sort of the actual architecture of Mixer, they've handed that over to Facebook, Facebook Gaming, and sort of initiated the partnership with Facebook. But yeah, as Yav said, like there was no warning. I think a lot of the partners were kind of left in the dust too. I don't think they knew either, because there was lots of them streaming, and then there was a lot of reaction to it.
You'd probably find that I'd say the big boys like probably Shroud and Ninja maybe had a bit of a heads up. They maybe sort their affairs in order. But anyone else pretty much probably didn't get a say, because obviously, I was just watching some things on Twitch, because at the time Tarkov were doing the drops, so I just was dipping in and out of streams trying to get myself some free loots. I did get pretty lucky in that, by the way. But and then a lot of a couple of good loots, like, and then a lot of obviously Twitch streamers, were all like Mixer dead, and I was all like, because I didn't see the news, and I was like, what's all about? And then went on Facebook and seen that G Fuel linked it, and that's the thing I linked you, wasn't it, Lee?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was that link, and then obviously it was like, oh dear. So yeah, it came out of blue for pretty much everyone.
Like I was
staff. You were saying even staff.
Apparently a lot of the staff and stuff didn't know. It kind of just, it was just, I think Microsoft just decided this is it. They'd pumped a lot of money into it. Obviously, getting we've talked about this, getting Ninja and Shroud across. And the funny thing is remember we were talking a couple of weeks ago saying about the whole traffic. That was them testing the Switch. That was Facebook actually taking control of the back end.
You think?
Yeah, it had to be, because that was a matter of weeks ago. This isn't something that Microsoft has just went, oh, one day, oh fuck, Mixer's done. We're done. We're Mixer. We're moving on. This has been something that has been in the pipeline, I reckon, for at least a couple of months. Has to have been.
So what happens if some of the like Ninja acquisitions and things was out there? Maybe to see of how well streamers react to big paychecks. If if they can be bought pretty easily, and obviously maybe not happy in the current situation. All Facebook. Facebook, just like Amazon with Twitch, and just like Microsoft, they're not skint companies. Like they can afford to pump a couple of million out, and that's just like me going and getting a takeaway for a tenner. Like nom to them, like,
No, no, I
not
agree.
that. And to be fair, a tenner's a lot of money to me. Like, so, a couple, 30 mil to them to buy anything out of his contracts, probably like, that's like 2 months of like Xbox Live Ultimate,
Yeah, I
for
know.
10 million people, no
No,
sweat,
it was
you know.
like for Microsoft, it's kind of like a dust yourself off. We'll learn from that and move on. It is not a big deal to them at all. Like it's literally a bump. But the obviously the main people that suffer are the streamers and the community, because the one thing about Mixer that we have always agreed on, like, is that the community was probably one of the best communities in terms of streaming platforms.
Well, it's
You
not
will,
even compared to streaming platforms. It's just compared to any social media platform
yeah,
or anything, even in games and stuff. Any sort of like they had a very good community, a very loyal community, and I mean, a lot of the streamers made a lot of money,
it did.
from the community. And I mean, they didn't have Twitch numbers.
No,
Even when Ninja and all came over, they still weren't having Twitch numbers. Yet they're
but
still making a
making
lot
a
of
lot of
money.
money. I know. And I think
You know,
Ninja actually had said that he was is just successful on Mixer that he was on Twitch. So he was making money hand over fist. Like,
and
obviously a lot to do with
that's
his contract and all as well. But
yeah, and that's obviously with he used to get what, like 30 to 40K all the
viewers,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Especially when he's doing Fortnite, and when he's doing those tournaments, he's getting like, 60, 70, 80, 90K. I think there's one
yep.
time he was well over 100, wasn't it?
Hmm?
And he was obviously averaging out on Mixer at about 7 to under 10K people, so that's like a quarter of the people who normally get,
But
and he's still
still
probably
getting
breaking the same amount of money, like.
yeah.
So
Because
it
like
just kind of proves.
I went into Ninja's streams a good few times, and people were just dropping embers like fucking no one's business. He was making
and
money every second, like it was
and
ridiculous.
and mainly I'll admit, we're not big Ninja fans, like,
No.
although over the past sort of year come to respect them a bit more.
Oh, I do. As like, I think if you're a streamer yourself, you kind of have to respect Ninja, because Ninja has done he's outdone a lot of the streamers. Like, look what that
But
guy has done in terms of sponsorship and deals that he's
yeah,
created for
well, he's
himself.
obviously brought a lot more eyes, especially to Fortnite. Fortnite owe
Yeah,
him everything.
yeah,
But what I
hundred
was going to
percent.
say is he's become a lot more bearable to watch on Mixer, as if he's a lot more chilled.
Yeah,
He
he
doesn't
did.
seem very uptight and like,
He was, I think,
stressed
yeah,
or
yeah.
burnt out.
We kind of talked about that. Is that the whole? I feel that in Twitch it was kind of like you had to play Fortnite and you have no choice and that's it.
Yeah,
Whereas in
you're bringing
Mixer,
in
you can,
100K people.
yeah,
When you play that shit game you're playing the other day, you get like 40K. I want
yeah,
100K.
we want the
You need to
100K,
play.
blah blah blah. We
Yeah,
want traffic. Whereas on Mixer, I think whenever he was brought over, Microsoft kind of let him do whatever he wanted. They were like, just play whatever you want, because I can't even remember if I talked about this in the podcast, but I remember one time I went in and he was playing Valorant, and people were commenting saying, I like when you play Fortnite, and he was like, I don't care. I don't want to
tough.
play Fortnite. Tough. It's like, and I respect that, because you kind of have to enjoy what you're playing. Although it's a job, he kind of has to have fun doing it.
I
That is the
feel
whole purpose of streaming in my
yeah,
eyes. You're doing something
yeah.
you
Well,
enjoy.
it's the same as work. I know not this is going to be an unpopular opinion probably, but you kind of have to enjoy what you do in working. I mean, me and Lee's been in a situation where we've hated jobs.
Yep.
And obviously, you may go to somewhere and I mean, no one really likes working, but you kind of have to, enjoy doing it, or, sort of not be too hacked off all the time. But me and Lee's
Yep.
came from a place where we've hated, and obviously we've changed that.
Yep.
And it's the same as streaming. At the end of the day, if you come on and you're like, I really hate that game, but I have to play it, and you're like,
Yeah. I'd hate that.
one, you're not going to be, yeah, you're not going to be very good at it.
No.
You're going to get frustrated and you're going to rage. And I know a lot about rage because I rage pretty hard, like, especially when it's something that I do not like. You can rage more about things I'm more passionate about and do like, but I mean, when there's something you detest playing, and League of Legends, for instance, I hate playing League of Legends, but sometimes a couple of mates are like, you haven't played this in a while, and you're like, yeah, and one thing goes wrong and you want to wreck a place.
Yeah.
So I can imagine if you don't want to play something like Fortnite, which can be pretty irritating at the best of times, especially if you played it flat out for 2 years, 3 years, the last thing you want to do is play it. So
Yeah.
I can respect him for that.
But yeah, so him and Shroud obviously were released, and their ties were cut with Mixer with the announcement of shutting down. Got a nice little pay package, which I'm sure they're not too annoyed about, because I think they got 40 million each.
No, it was not much.
I think it
I
was.
think
I think I
no,
seen a thing.
Shroud
It was the
Shroud
40
got
million each.
10.
Oh well, I thought I
Shroud got
read.
10, and either Ninja got 30 or 40. But obviously the reason why Ninja probably cost more was because of Red Bull and Adidas.
Yeah.
Obviously
Adidas
Shroud doesn't
especially.
have. Yeah, obviously, Shroud has sponsors, but they're not.
Not to that
They're
level.
not. They're not the level of that. Like not
Because
global brands.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because most of the Shrouds ones are all like gaming brands, whereas
Yeah,
Ninja actually has two brands that are not even associated with gaming. They're
yeah.
like normal brands of Red Bull, fucking energy drink, and Adidas. He has his own Adidas line, which is ridiculous. And it's
Could
quite nice
could
as well.
yeah, could be wrong, but I don't think Red Bull sponsors anyone else. Not of that caliber. I know they have
No,
their
I
own
don't
gaming
think so.
cafe in
I don't
London,
think so.
so they do. They have broke into games because obviously Red Bull are kind of in any
Energy
sport,
drink,
rather
yeah,
e-sport.
it's an
Yeah,
energy drink. Yeah.
but obviously the likes of Adidas and Adidas I don't think's ever sponsored gamers before or anything like that. There could have been a couple of teams out there. I know Lee probably doesn't know this, but a gaming team North from Denmark, I think, they have like Adidas jerseys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if they're sponsored by them.
It's
Obviously I
they,
know
they,
they make
they,
their
they might
jerseys.
yeah, they might manufacture their jerseys for them.
Yeah.
It's like a commission
So
sort of thing.
yeah, so
Um,
obviously with big global brands like that behind you, that's probably the reason why they had to pay a bit more for him.
yeah, yeah. No, I
And
probably
that was
agree.
probably it.
So yeah, so when that news broke, obviously a lot of people devastated. There's a lot of I was dropping in and out of other people's streams, especially the partners, and a lot of the partners, even their mods and all had said that they're not going to stream again. Like there was a few of them saying that's us, that's me done. A lot of people didn't want to start from scratch. Is that's what it is? Like I'm not in the same level. I had 340 odd followers, and um, I made the decision that night that I was going to move to Twitch. So I'm starting from scratch again, and it sucks, like, but it has to be done. I enjoy streaming, so it's it's not something I just
Well,
wanted to pack on.
yeah, well, at the minute you can understand that people, not Ninja and Shroud level, no matter where they go, all the
They'll get the
followers going to go
followers.
with
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've got the likes of people like Spartacus and who else is there, like
It's kind of
Gagod
it's
and
kind of like
people like
those
that.
mid to low tier ones
Yeah,
that
the ones
they're
that
kind
sort of
of
bring in between 500 to maybe 3,000 people at any one time.
yeah.
The ones that probably, yeah, they're successful in Mixer, but would they pull those 500 to 3,000 people onto Facebook
Yeah,
or Twitch?
you are
Probably not. They're probably their viewers are gonna go and watch someone else that's higher on. Because the
higher
only
on
reason
the
I'd say because they got, not that they're any bad streamers, because a lot of them's not. I watch. Like I says, Lee has them hosted, and I kind of have Lee's channel open on my Chrome tab all the time. So he's usually streaming or hosting someone like Spartacus or something like that there. And I'd have him on. He's always usually playing Call of Duty.
yeah
And decent enough streamers. Puts a lot in the community with because I think he hosts tournaments and all. But
yeah he does yeah.
has he got enough star power to pull away from, say, for instance, I don't know who else streams COD. Doc, definitely not. If Try goes back, no.
No.
So it's a tough decision for those people to make because obviously they would be classed as the stars of Mixer alongside Shroud and Ninja. But before that, they would have been the top streamers on Mixer before they came in, and they're moving to a platform where there's no chance of them probably getting that level again.
Yeah, no, agree. I know Spartacus for one, he is moving to Twitch. He's announced that he's moving to Twitch, but it's funny because a lot of the mid to low tier ones, they're either quitting, they're moving to Twitch, YouTube. Some of them are going to Facebook, with sort of following hoping the community is going to follow into Facebook. That was the decision that kind of stuck me, is whether I go to Facebook or go to Twitch, because obviously with the fact that it's a merger kind of thing, you'd feel that a lot of the community will move to Facebook. But the problem is with Facebook is you're kind of the pros and cons. The major con for me is that you can't stream under an alias on Facebook. It's your actual name, which, so if you start a set as a brand,
you stream under your brand, but obviously if you comment on anything and all, it's like
your actual name, yeah.
You know?
But yeah, there's things like that, and also it's like how much is Facebook gaming, and is it a fad? Is it something that Facebook are going to drop? At the drop of a hat if it's not really working for them. It's very tucked away in terms of their actual app and their desktop and stuff. It's way down the list. It's not, at the end of the day, it's a social media platform. The gaming's like a side thing to it.
Very side thing.
Yeah, it's not something that they're really concentrating a lot on. So it's like I don't I didn't really think that was a good move. So I decided to go. Was obviously in terms of size, there's nothing bigger than Twitch. Twitch is the streaming platform. It's going to be harder to get recognized and harder to get people in, but I feel like in terms of having something that's stable and solid, you can't really go wrong with Twitch.
Well, you know yourself, right? You've put a fair decent, and you're pretty much a full time streamer, and you're not getting paid for it.
Yeah,
And obviously you're doing it as a hobby, not to become famous. Because you just enjoy gaming and sharing your content with people.
yeah,
The last thing you want to do is work your balls off on Mixer, or sorry, on Facebook, and then for them in a year's time to turn around and go,
we're away.
didn't work out that well. We're not doing that no more. And then obviously inevitably is you're going to end up on Twitch.
Yeah.
And again, you're going to have to start from scratch, and especially if you built, say for instance, you actually made something of yourself on Facebook, and you did maybe get those 500 to 3,000 followers and viewers at any one time making money, and then you go to Facebook to Twitch and have to start scratch, bring some of your following over, but obviously cuts and stuff like that there with Twitch are a lot harsher. They're pretty much 50-50. So it's a big it's disappointing if that was to happen, and obviously like Lee said, but especially if it doesn't take traction. So you may as well, if you're gonna do it, you do it on Twitch, and then obviously as well, if you're gonna put that level of work in, and obviously it will be more rewarding in the future if you can make something of it.
Yeah, no, totally. I completely agree. That was the reason that I went to Twitch, was because the fact that people were saying try Facebook for like a month, and it's like, why bother putting a month into it, hate it, and then have to start from scratch again? It doesn't really make sense. I'd rather be set up shop now and just bash it out and just do it.
It's just like a flow chart. It's like Mixer's closed down, where to go. Facebook, if Facebook doesn't work out, where to go. Twitch.
Yeah. It's like a roundabout way.
Anyway.
Yeah, you could end up where.
Just...
Yeah. So that's why I chose the route. I am so sad that Mixer has closed down, because I really liked the platform. It needed work. It wasn't perfect, but I felt that there was definitely plenty of potential in that platform. But these things happen. Microsoft are trying to take things in a different way. The news today that you have told me as well is that they're apparently closing down their shops as well, which is another. They've just decided not going to do the shops no more.
It was a bit of bad timing, because whenever me and you worked in retail, it was mainly worked in an electrical retailer together, and obviously working with Microsoft products closely. It was always seemed like, you've got Apple presence quite heavily in a lot of third-party stores, and obviously they have their shops pretty much in any major city in the world. So obviously it seemed that obviously with Microsoft being being the biggest computing entity in the world, why would they not have stores?
Especially now that they brought their own products out as well, that they actually released Surfaces and things like that.
And they're premium products, and they're not crap. They're premium products at a premium price. So you'd think you'd have those in a premium store. So they did bring it out, but obviously with the likes of coronavirus and stuff hitting, they don't have the same amount of probably investment as what Apple does in their stores with their money. Obviously, Apple just make Apple products and that's it. Yes, they have stuff in other places, but obviously Microsoft have tons of different subsidiaries and things like that there. So obviously their retail stores probably weren't making any. In fact, they probably didn't make any money out of it. It was more like a showroom probably, and more like a high street entity.
It was. I think it was just to have a presence on the high street. So, but
just somewhere like an alternate place to go than Apple.
Yeah, and
if you wanted premium products,
I feel that the closing of Mixer and the fact that they decided now to close their stores is clearly a sign that Microsoft have plans. There's things in the works there. There's something happening. They've got something going on.
Well, there's obviously reports as well is that I mean, we look at her. I'm just reading something at the same time, relevant. So obviously, they were talking about Mixer moving over to Facebook Gaming, because obviously Mixer's going to be winding down operations, with elements of its underlying technology moving to Microsoft Teams communications platform. So obviously, they're probably going to bring the likes of, you were talking about the servers and stuff, and what they've had for Mixer. So they're going to move that platform to Microsoft Teams, because obviously they're. I think they're trying to get away. I don't know if Skype still exists. If not, I think they're probably going to try to get rid of that, especially for business.
Yeah.
because they're moving to that cloud platform of Microsoft Teams, which apparently is very good. Apparently, it's a bit like Discord in the sense of the way you can share and collaborate and have chat rooms and things like that there.
Yeah.
So obviously, they're going to put more focus on that and probably use the resources of Mixer as the streaming platform for that. Maybe for video conferencing and all. Maybe obviously because this whole coronavirus thing. Maybe they're going to maybe more of a business entity with that. That's just coming out of my own head.
Yeah, but that, to me, that makes a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, Microsoft products and their software suites, their everything about them is business. They're very business orientated. Apple do this whole fun and about being exciting and creativity, whereas Microsoft hone in on the whole. At the end of the day, their software suite is called Office. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a business. They're a business. They're all about the business, the world.
No matter where you work, and you walk into, no matter if it's a Windows-based computer, if you've got Android tablets, things like that there, or if you've got Apple, OS X or iOS, 9 out of 10 times you're going to be using the Office suite, like
Yeah.
not like Google Docs.
No.
Some places do use Google Docs.
Some, yeah.
And then some places uses pages and numbers from Apple's products, but more or less you're going to be using
Microsoft.
Office 365
Yeah.
because they're pretty much giving you the whole suite for subscription based on the cloud, obviously including storage and Teams and things like that there. We sound like flipping we're selling PCs again, lad.
I know.
Trying to sell the Office PC. But that's the sort of things of what they're doing now. And obviously with the coronavirus hitting and obviously affecting pretty much anything physically, like, especially retail in general, anything physical, everything's online. And you know yourself, from actually transitioning from working in an office to having to work at home full time for a while there. And there's some offices I hear of people, when I was around my mate's house the other day there for a barbecue.
Yeah.
My friends' girlfriends' sisters, both of them, they're not returning to work. They're full time working from home in terms of like they're closing the offices down. It's like they've invested the money in getting home office setups for people.
Someone's at my door.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I'll hold the fort down. This is a very unusual thing. We can maybe edit it out if I talk too much crap. But basically, businesses now, they've seen that people can work from home. You can sustain a business from people working from home. You don't need people physically in an office. So, a lot of people are getting sent home and sent home permanently. Office buildings are closing. So, obviously, Microsoft are capitalizing on this with Microsoft Teams. They're going to know, people's going to be working from home probably for indefinitely. Let's get a platform out that we can use.
Yeah, that's pretty much sorry, I had the dash there. Someone just knocked my door. It was someone trying to sell me something. I was just like, no.
Microsoft Office, no, mate. You sell that here.
No. As Yaf was saying, like I basically know what he was saying, because Microsoft are definitely they're changing their scope a bit. They've tried things didn't work, and they're moving on to something else, and obviously Mixer is a casualty of that. So what do you think, Yav? What do you think the likes of Ninja and Shroud's next moves are?
Well, just before we just move on to that, apart from the Microsoft Teams thing, which I got a bit invested in, even though I've never used it, but I've heard it's good, is obviously as well, all Mixer sites and apps will redirect users to Facebook, okay?
Yep.
But apparently, in exchange, obviously Microsoft's elusive Project X Cloud gaming streaming service will also appear on the social
Facebook,
media agenda in the future. So obviously, Microsoft have been like, right, well, Mixer's a casualty. There's nothing we can do about that. We want to invest in something else. But we're going to bring Project X Cloud to Facebook. I don't know what that entails in the future. Like Lee maybe brought up something like Oculus, because obviously Facebook owns Oculus. Maybe something, obviously, you could stream the game straight to the glasses. I don't know. You could do. But obviously they're doing that in exchange, and obviously with bringing it to, you have, 10,000 or 10 million subscribers to Game Pass or something, or 20 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. And obviously you're going to pretty much the whole population of the world has Facebook. So they're going to be able to play games. So it's a smart move in the end.
Yeah,
especially for xCloud.
They've definitely thought it through. It hasn't been a decision that they've just went, let's do this, get rid of it. They've thought about something. They're working on something. And the partner, because that's what the thing is, as you've pointed out as well, is it's a partnership with Facebook. It's not just, we've
Facebook
quit Mixer.
It
didn't bad or anything like that. Basically, Microsoft went, we don't want this anymore. We don't want to do this anymore. But how about, because you've got something that we, you're building something that we were doing. We don't want to really invest our time in that side of it, but we could do something over here and do something and then amalgamate these things together. And Facebook have obviously loved it, so there's something going on there.
Yeah, you pointed out that Facebook obviously was the fastest growing streaming platform probably this year.
Yeah,
with like a 200% increase, and obviously, yes, because it is new, it is going to have an increase. And pretty much obviously,
it's a different type of traffic, though. It's definitely a different type of traffic.
Obviously, their Microsoft's like, right, you take up, you can have the free reign of any of our people, and then obviously in the future, when we bring Project xCloud to Facebook. To the forefront is we want to bring it to Facebook, so win-win.
Who knows?
Either way.
And who knows what that will entail. That's the thing, is like the thought, you start thinking about these things and you're like, so what
is it going to be integrated into the Facebook app? So
yeah, what sort of, because they mentioned xCloud and Game Pass. So both of these things. So is it that you're going to be able to subscribe to Game Pass and play it through the app, or what? These
no one knows,
sort of things. Is Facebook going to design the app? Because that's one thing that Microsoft aren't overly great at, is designing apps. Facebook are a lot more experienced in this. So is Facebook going to design the Game Pass app and maybe design the xCloud app? Because the xCloud app is very basic. There's something that they're going to be working on together, and it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. It'll probably be over the next few years. We'll probably start to see that, but yeah. So it's really Rip Mixer more than anything. It's the casualty of this all. It's a business move, understandable business move. Microsoft want to do a lot of different stuff. And that's
what we like.
Yeah.
About Microsoft, they're not scared to invest money, and if it doesn't work out,
admit their mistake and move on.
Yeah,
they are. They're not afraid to do that, and it's a shame. But at the end of the day, it's something that needed to happen, obviously. So, they could move to something else. They wanted to redeploy the teams and focus on something different. So, we'll see what comes from that. But yeah, as I said, what do you think from Ninja and Shroud? Obviously, the two big boys in Mixer. Where are they going?
Well, I obviously there's been a couple of Twitter posts and some QQ crying from a couple of big Twitch streamers.
Yeah,
will not mention names, Dr. Disrespect.
Ninja,
so apparently,
Ninja basically said he was like, I'm gonna take some time, think about my future and stuff, and he's literally went radio silent. He's gone. He's got literally said nothing since. He's retweeted things, but he hasn't actually spoken out. So,
and I think obviously what speculation was he might go to Twitch was the fact that his page has been updated with Valorant and things like that there. But obviously a bit of speculation, things like that there.
I don't know.
With Shroud, he's pretty much put obviously I don't know what's happened yet, but apparently I got a link from one of our friends, Andy Forsaken. You'll probably see him in a later podcast episode. Absolute rocket. But he's linked saying basically Shroud put on Twitter that I think he linked the picture of the link of his Twitch original Twitch profile and pretty much said, is this thing on? Which is a big indication that he's probably going to go back to Twitch after Twitch fork a bit of money out for him. And then there's a couple of people not happy.
I'm just looking.
A bit of grief.
I'm actually just looking at Shroud or Michael's Twitter right now. It just says streamer. Oh, hold on.
Has there been some news?
No. There's a link. But the link's to his YouTube.
Unless he's maybe
youtube.com/Shroud.
I bet he uploads videos, doesn't he?
I know, yeah, obviously, but there's no,
Where's the Twitch post? Is it there? Is this thing on? Maybe Andy was high when he linked me out. I don't know. He definitely
the last time he hasn't tweeted in 4 days. The last thing he said, I appreciate the Mixer community and everything I've been able to do on the platform. I love you guys, and I'm figuring out my next steps. He hasn't tweeted since.
Well, maybe Andy's talking crap.
Or maybe that picture's been fucking forged or something. You get all these fucking people making those things. Well,
probably just probably put up the piss dealt with disrespect off, just to get a bit of trigger out of him, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, let's go on to Shroud's Twitch, because his Twitch still on, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they deleted
Let's
the
go to
profiles,
about.
like.
Doesn't like about hasn't changed. It's still the same. It just says enjoy these highlights slash vods and remember to follow. There's nothing different. There's nothing on his schedule. Nope. I don't know.
So,
I feel that I think that like Shroud will go back to Twitch. I think he will, but you never know. You know, all these other boys are out now, and you know YouTube's doing the whole streaming thing.
where's PewDiePie? YouTube, isn't
YouTube,
it?
yeah.
So, apart from that,
YouTube's
you
kind of
know,
untapped in that sense, and the sort of big streamers, I suppose, is
I
the
mean,
best way of putting it.
the only like entities I know stream on that is obviously PewDiePie, which I never watch, never have watched him, never will watch him, and Blizzard host all their tournaments on exclusively on YouTube, as far as I'm aware. So that's the only people I know, and obviously I would watch the World First races and the likes of the Mythic Plus races for Blizzard games. So that would be the only time I'd ever go to YouTube to watch a live stream, like.
Yeah, but
Unless it was something like Champions League or something like that there where they put on free, apart from
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
none.
But yeah. So it'll be interesting to see their next moves. Ninja, I'd be very surprised he goes back to Twitch. I honestly would after the way he left. Um, I don't
I
know.
just don't see, because obviously the move to Mixer was, groundbreaking, but it still didn't bring the big, huge crowds over. I'd say probably will end up on Twitch, but I think Twitch will pay big to get him back.
They need to.
I think they have to go into their pockets, because obviously he's just made £40 million, so he's not going to be,
But at the same time, are they going to put their hand in their pocket? Do they really need him?
I'd say yes.
Do you? You think so? If they
mean,
got Shroud back, do you think they'd need him?
Yeah.
Do
So I
you?
didn't pull in any of the same numbers that Ninja did. He was their biggest streamer. So
I know,
why
but
would...
do you think that? But the thing is that for me, you think about it. Yeah, Ninja obviously had the biggest numbers, but do you really? I don't. Obviously, his whole community didn't go to Mixer with him because he wasn't getting the same numbers of views. They went to other people.
Well, you think, right? So obviously most of his community's Fortnite, right? So they would probably just went to like Tim.
Yeah, he doesn't even play
And
Fortnite anymore.
Nah, shit, it doesn't matter. Can't stand him. But they went to people like Tim, and I think there was that player from TSM or something like that there that they all played. Viz, wasn't there? Something like that
Fizz, yeah.
And people like that. So you probably find his community, because the ones he always sort of paired up with would go to that. And then obviously a lot of them probably would have went to Doc, because he's arguably the biggest streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
But I think kind of like watching Doc and stuff. I don't watch him that often, but boring. The same thing. I'd say they'd want to get Shroud back, because there isn't anyone that's technically at his skill level in any game in a first-person shooter.
Yep.
And then obviously you're bringing back. It's not only just bringing back Ninja, but you're bringing back Adidas brands, and they're going to pay big. Brands are going to pay big for that. Having him at the top at all times and things like that there. So I think they're going to have to dig deep, and he probably will end up on Twitch, but it's going to cost them
a lot
of money. 40 million probably wouldn't nowhere see it, nowhere near. It'll be probably double that, like.
Yeah, we'll
and
see.
And that's probably why you haven't heard much from them. At the end of the day, they're probably negotiating. And
that's the thing, is he's probably listening, but I reckon he wouldn't be just listening to Twitch. I reckon he's going to be listening to all offers out there, because I'd be very surprised if YouTube, aka Google, are not trying to tap him up, because they could do shit with him too. You know what I mean? Like imagine Google. I don't know. Think of all the things Google do. Imagine them. A Ninja version of the Pixel. With his fucking logo and all in the back. They could do a lot with that boy.
Google Home with his voice.
Google Home with his voice. Kids adore Ninja. Ninja is a big. He's a in terms of like kids and sort of young teens and stuff, he's very popular. So you could really do a lot with his branding, big time. I'd be very surprised Google aren't tapping.
You gotta think of it logically. There is only two places he's gonna go. He ain't gonna go to Facebook, so he's gonna go to YouTube, or he's gonna go back to Twitch, and they're the only people that could afford to pay for him.
Well, Facebook probably could.
Unless they probably could, but they're probably not willing to.
I think so.
Because you probably find if he was willing to go there,
I'd be shocked I'd be shocked if he went to Facebook. I'd literally probably fall off my chair. I'd be that shocked.
Well, if he willingly went there, then they probably wouldn't have bought him out of his contract. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, well,
there
yeah.
probably would have been a bit of switching over there. But the way I see it is, he's only going to go to two places. Only two places can afford him, unless, and this is something I mentioned to you a couple of days ago, unless the likes of Red Bull are going to want to get on this streaming stuff and maybe make their own platform, or maybe he's going to make his own platform. Like, he has the star power to do it and the money.
Him and Shroud.
That could be something interesting. Like,
They
wants to come with his tail between his legs. It's all like, nah, mate.
Because at the end of the day, they both have the experience, and they both talk to each other. I've seen them talk to each other a few times. So I don't know. Who knows?
And
Who knows what
like
they're going to do?
Yeah, and he can, they can both pull a lot of decent streamers over. Like,
oh, why? Because I reckon, at the end of the day, Tim the Tap Man, Ninja made him. If Ninja really wanted him to, he'd bring him across. Like,
yeah.
So I was thinking that Tim, if Mixer hadn't went down, I reckon Tim would have probably moved to Mixer at some point.
Yeah, if Mixer would have head off, I think if they really wanted, the way they've envisioned it to head off when they brought like Ninja and Shroud over, you probably find next year there would have been a lot more switches. Like,
yeah, I think so.
Big,
but it wasn't to be. So, unfortunately, that is R.I.P. Mixer. And the end of the road for it. So yeah, me and Yaf he's back on Twitch because he was originally a Twitch streamer.
Still affiliated. Drop your Twitch primes on my channel, Yaf_7.
If you want to actually watch someone that puts out content and actually streams, come watch me. Twitch.tv/The Punisher LH.
We'll have to get those. And if you remember to do it this time, actually put the socials on the YouTube channel would be great.
But they're at the end anyway.
Aye, but no one wants to type stuff out. Clicks. You have that wee button, the subscribe button, only like, somewhere on the page. Whack it up there. Especially yours, because obviously you're going to have to get a couple of followers. So yeah. Follow that, the Punisher LH, because you need to get the 50 followers to get that affiliate program.
Yeah, so people can start subbing and giving me money. But yeah, guys, so
here's something just before you wrap it up. You get the 50 followers, £25 gift card. You didn't get to give that one away.
I've already put on my channel that I'm giving away a $5. You can't even hear you. Yeah.
I know, because I'm speechless.
$5, 100 gets a tenner. 250, 25.
Well, I'll negotiate with him. We'll up that money. All right.
If Yav's giving me the extra 20 quid, that's all right.
I'll gladly give him the extra bit of money. See if we can get him up to 5 or 50 followers by next week. I'll gladly up the price. Well, maybe we'll tweet that out. We can get up to 50 followers. Yaffle put some money towards it. You never know. If I get a couple more Twitch Prime subs and then my allowance goes over £100, so I actually get the 50 quid back, then yes, we will give him the money. That's not going for a long time though.
It's not. So we're both now on Twitch, so streaming on Twitch. I'm actually going off now to stream on Twitch, keeping my sort of regular normal schedule that I kept on Mixer, so come check that out. But I think that this kind of podcast was more just really about talking about the end of Mixer and the kind of what we've been playing over the last couple of weeks. The next podcast will be in 2 weeks' time, and we will be in the same room talking about whatever news has dropped between now and then. We might actually be talking about the Xbox conference because it might have happened. They haven't they haven't given an official date yet. So I think it's at the start of July. So there's a good chance we will be talking about the Xbox conference.
And if it is delayed, the podcast is either because I'm lazy and sleeping, or that maybe we're going to wait just to get some coverage of that in.
Yeah, so
we want to try to keep it relevant.
Yeah. So if by any chance it doesn't come out that weekend because the Xbox conference is on like a Saturday or something, that's why we want to make sure that we can talk about it. And as I said, we might get Gavin back on for that and see what he thinks. So I'll get him around. But yeah, guys, as always, like, subscribe, share the podcast. We're talking up different ideas of what we can do to reward the people who get our podcast out and about a bit more. We might be talking about bringing some merch in at some point. So guys, just hit us up. Send us any questions as well. that you want
Especially if
answered.
you want us to cover anything as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Any
we're always
topics
looking
as well.
ideas.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're always looking at ideas for future topics.
We do our own research and stuff. Well, and sort of have things to talk about. But anything that you know that we may have missed, that you want us to cover or anything like that, just definitely fire it our way. And let us know. But yeah, that's pretty much all from me this week. What about you? You have anything else?
No, pretty much. You know, if you have anything to say, give us a shout.
Yep.
We read all comments. That we don't really get that many at the minute, but you know what I mean. We all read them. And like I says, we don't mind other people's opinions and views. You know, tell us what you think.
Yep.
You know, and we'll obviously trash you. No, we're joking, but you know, tell us what you think, and you know, we'll discuss it. And
Yep.
then hopefully we'll get Gav on again, and we can throw some abuse at him.
Yep, that sounds good to me. It does. But yeah, guys, so thank you very much for watching. If you did watch, and RIP Mixer, I think that's really the end of the road for that and the end of this podcast. So thank you very much. See you all in 2 weeks.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye.